All right, Cassidy, let's take a look at your paper MLA format first. All of this looks good. Reality check. I like your title. I know we workshopped it together, so that's good. What I will tell you is everything up to this point is really good. I like the flow of it. Sometimes you get a little wordy that you have to, like I had to reread this sentence a couple of times to make sure I was on the right track. So that's a little bit of your problem later on too with some of your writing, is that it does get a little wordy. But everything sounds good right until here, okay? At this point, let me just point this out to you. You only have one sentence, okay? Now, it's not the length of your sentence that I'm concerned with. It's the fact that you, in one sentence, go through your topic, trying to connect the topic to your symptom, introducing your main points, and throwing in your thesis all in one sentence. And that's way, way too much to do in this one sentence. I want to see you, again, I love this first part, but now take a second to talk about Macbeth. Talk about how he does face some of these symptoms that really challenges him in the play. Talk about how the symptoms include this, 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 and this, and then dive into your thesis statement. Like I said, you're just trying to do way too much in here, in this particular sentence here. You got some space issues here. You got too many spaces in between words. I guess not there, but right there you do for sure. So you'll have to fix that. Yes, this is an okay thesis statement and everything else, but you really do want to separate that sentence out to make it have the maximum amount of impact there. All right, so your first body paragraph is about hallucinations. Remember, so you start with a quote, which is fine. Remember, your end punctuation goes right here, so make sure that ends up there. And then you talk about a little bit about the background of hallucinations. Now, you don't mention the whole dagger until later on. So here's my question. You asked if you could start with this, and I said sure. But does it make sense that this is so far away from what you're trying to talk about way down here? So, I don't know, something to think about as you rewrite it. Here's a good example of maybe a little bit of an awkward sentence. In William Shakespeare's tragedy, Macbeth, no comma, experiences the appalling side effects of schizophrenia, comma, in reference to hallucinations. That last part just sounds kind of weird. So I think you reword that, make it a little better. Again, you have some space issues here. We have more than one space in between words. So go back and fix that. I think everything that you have here from your outside source is really good. And again, you don't have to keep repeating this, okay? Like we know it's from the play. He faces the horrificness of hallucinations on not one but two different accounts. Good alliteration there. He's unable to differentiate between reality and the falseness in his mind. But then you jump right into was the first, but not the not the last. So I would love to see you maybe dive into this a little bit before you move on to the second one. And you go on to plot of the idea here, plot of the example. He allowed for the other characters to play to witness the obstacles Macbeth had been experiencing. This event allowed Macbeth to comprehend that he was lost in his own fantasy. But this is like the only real diving into of your thesis statement. Just a little bit here. You don't really have a strong transition to move us into the next paragraph, but it's all about the whole idea of disregarding reality. And you use that, which is fine, but it's not a lot of your analysis. Go back and look at some of this stuff. Can you connect some of the outside source into your paper or into your body paragraph later on? That might be a good option. I would tell you the same thing about this paragraph, or this starting as the last one. Again, it's so far away from what you're trying to say down here that does it really have any impact. Remember, your period goes after here too. All right, so the struggles of his emotions, which I like how you set up the background to it. And it was in Act 5, C5 when his wife dies and he shows no sympathy. He asks if he could care less about his wife and that she is not a priority in his life, so you don't need a comma here. This is not a complete sentence. This event shows that Macbeth is having difficulty connecting to the true emotions within him. Now, again, you say one little thing and then kind of move on, but you do make up for it down here. So he has one of his dearest friends, Banquo, killed. he never takes the time, so this is not a comma. This make it a comma splice, so it's got to be like a semicolon there. He shows no remorse or regret when he finds out he's been... But again, he set up the murder, so I'm not sure why he would have any remorse over it. But it's like all of his love and emotions for his previous friend did not matter anymore. And you could even actually tie in Duncan, how he felt about Duncan's death compared to Banquo's death and his wife's death. It's almost like a straight, it's almost like he really is upset about it, then he is really great with it, and then he's almost non-thinking about it, non-feeling about it with his wife. So that might be a way to set up, that kind of progression for him. But this is much better, trying to dive into the topic. His love of them did not matter anymore. Makes it rather obvious to identify he's facing the brutality of emotional disconnectedness, so I like that. So here's a transition. In addition to Macbeth disregarding his emotions, he develops violent tendencies. I'd love to be more specific there. He develops violent tendencies towards the people that he sees as in his way. You got a tab issue here. This needs to be tabbed over, so fix that. Now, in contrast, this quote works really well as a beginning point of your topic, so I actually like that a lot. All right, so he struggles to accomplish any task without violence, so that's not a bad topic sentence. Again, I like how you set up the outside source. And then this is probably your weakest paragraph for actually diving into the topic, because all you're saying is he could have solved it different ways, but he chose, to kill people instead. And again, it is evident that Macbeth is facing violent tendencies, as he only uses violence and force when faced with stressful situations. You're just now maybe starting to dive into that thesis statement, going back to that. So find a way to really extend and add on to this. And then you get to the end here with your conclusion. So you have your thesis statement, you have all your main points, which is good. A couple of comma errors, there's a comma there. Instead of making practical decisions, comma, you took the easy way out. And you just kind of go back to the well. I mean, you talked about this already several times. I don't know, I feel like you could add something in there, maybe a quote or something else, I don't know. Your works cited page looks good. Everything is in its place. I like that. Good job with that. So anyways, Cassie, just a little bit more adding on to your, analysis part, extending that, and you have a pretty good start, though. Good luck with your rewrite.